My friend Chris Pielmeyer is a scientist at a Swiss Institute for Avalanche Research.
In Switzerland, on average, 26 people die in avalanche accidents. And of those 26 people on average, 90% to 95% have triggered their own avalanche.
We hooked up with this group that studies avalanches in Switzerland, and they have a valley that's dedicated to triggering avalanches. And we lucked out. We got a phone call one day, be here tomorrow night, we're going to trigger an avalanche the day after tomorrow. One of the exciting things that we did over there was placing the camera right in the path of an oncoming avalanche. We had to bring the camera in on a long line, drops it down, he flies out, Jack Tankard is then flown back in where he fine-tunes the position of the camera and puts a locating device in it so he can find the camera after the avalanche.
We got everything set up.
10 seconds.
This was kind of amazing and scary to me, is that we have a crew in the helicopter, and so you're flying and you've got these 5 2-liter jugs of dynamite in the helicopter with the fuses burning, and they're holding it in the helicopter waiting for the fuse to get to a certain area before they let it go. And sure enough, the avalanche hit the camera. We just saw the camera just go flying.
That was very a nice demonstration of the mechanical impact. The forces are rather high and people underestimate the forces in avalanches. And
they said afterwards it was the second largest avalanche that they had ever triggered in all of the years that they were studying avalanches there. So we had the filmmaking gods looking down on us that day.
The Avalanche Forecasting Center has to improve safety in the mountains for people who live in the mountains or who travel in the mountains.
As the climbers continue to wait for good weather, the film crew is hard at work.
We travel with an immense amount of equipment when we make an IMAX film. Typically 3,000 to 5,000 pounds of equipment, anywhere from 60 to 100 cases. The Eiger Mountain is not anywhere near as high as Mount Everest, but it's much more technically difficult, and we wanted to try to portray that in the film as best as we could. One of the techniques that we used was creating what we referred to as a vertical dolly.
Every day, we usually had either 2 or 3 changes of weather. It could be gloriously sunny right at dawn when we all woke up. By noon, it could be snowing. And by 6 o'clock in the afternoon, the wind could be howling and you couldn't do a thing.
And that was tricky because we had 3 camera crews working simultaneously, a mountain crew, an aerial crew, and a ground crew. We would go to bed at night with 3 different production plans, a blue sky plan, a gray sky plan, and a stormy plan. And frequently we would have to change halfway through the day because the blue sky would suddenly close out and we'd be in the middle of a windstorm or something.
Well, one day we wanted to do a scene inside an ice cave. And it was a good day to do it because all of a sudden the weather closed in on us, and so we decided, okay, let's build an ice cave. It's really looking good.
Ms. Hammers, is it going well today?
It's going fairly well considering the conditions.
Yeah, great.
Conditions are great.
How many minutes left?
21 minutes till train leaves, or we have to stay the night here.
So basically, we're gonna, anyone who can go in the train should go in the train. And the rest of us can walk down. But it's a good scene. It's worth doing.
You have to have alternatives, and you also have to be prepared for the clouds to sock in so people are stranded. Like last night, they had 2 guides left on the summit, and they couldn't get them off, so the guides had to hike out.
What's going to happen here?
We're going to fly the 2 first guides into the summit. They're going to fix the location of the summit to receive the equipment right down here in the bag. Then we'll fly all the equipment in the bag. Then after the equipment's flown in, we're going to fly in the film crew. And then after that's done, then they make a movie.
What do you think the weather's going to be like up there?
I think it's going to be good.
Okay.
So that's my prediction.
Excellent.
Well, the days we shot with the helicopter are crazy because you'd be in the hotel in this nice restaurant having a cup of coffee and eating an apple strudel, and 5 minutes later you're actually hanging in space because you don't, I mean, you ride in the helicopter for about half the ride. You sit on the door and you got your harness to a cable that's about as big as your little finger that's attached to your harness, and then as you're getting close to where you need to be, the winch operator says, "Are you ready?" And he basically pushes on your cable and you go falling out, and then you're dangling underneath this thing. And you're already, it's not just like you're flying along in a helicopter. You're actually flying fairly fast, and not only, you know, you're in this crazy, crazy place.
But this is not where we want to be. No, we want to be up there.
One of the highlights of the film is a scene on the Matterhorn where we recreated the climb where Edward Whymper and his team first summited the Matterhorn.
We got local people from the town of Zermatt to dress up in period costumes and to climb the Matterhorn as if they were the Whymper group. These people wore the costumes around town. They just became the Whymper party.
2 of the climbers are actually descended from Whymper's teammates. So for them, it was kind of a special event, a way of honoring their ancestors.
Very good.
One of the benefits of all the juggling and all the bad weather that we had, and we filmed more of the 1966 recreation scenes than we originally anticipated.
So I'll say cue the avalanche.
Those are the scenes of John's dad climbing the Eiger in his final and fatal attempt on the Eiger.
We were setting up the avalanche shot, and then the big avalanche, the real natural avalanche, came and hit us. I wasn't rolling yet, so I was like, wait, I wasn't rolling.
And that ended up adding a lot emotionally to the film.
Pretty much anybody who has a healthy respect for high places is gonna get some reaction. And that place, when we looked over that edge and looked straight down, it was probably 2,000 feet of nothing. I mean, it's really, really steep, looking straight down through the camera. And that was, yeah, you know, there's a little adrenaline when you get hanging over a big edge like that. I think it's okay. I think the fall was fantastic. Okay.
When we wanted to film or portray John Harlan II's fall after the rope broke, we explored a variety of options, including using skydivers, but we came up with the idea of using dummies. Used them on 2 occasions. One where we did a shot from quite a distance where we just had some of our climbers just drop the dummy off the ledge.